Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going back through every single prediction, video, post, and whatever else I did of 2025, all the WWE PLEs, and I'm going to be seeing how well I did predicting. I'm not quite sure how long this video is going to go. I'm not quite sure how this video is going to go, but we're just going to start here. If it's an interesting match, maybe I'll see what happens or how I talked about that match. Other than that, though, we got a lot of matches to get through. Let's just go ahead and skip ahead. We are currently at Saturday night's main event. This is Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Let's go ahead and just see what I have to say about this match.
Other than that, though, this one might be the easiest match to predict on the show.
Okay, well, that didn't help at all.
Strowman, he literally just came back, so he is definitely not going to beat Jacob Fatu. But other than that one,
All right, so it looks like I appeared to go Jacob Fatu, which was correct, so that's first of the day so far.
On the show is going to be Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax, and another match that's kind of just been thrown together
Let's
here.
just go and skip ahead a little bit. Actually, I just believe we can skip to the very end of this video, because if I remember correctly, this isn't that much of a decent little Saturday night's main event, so I believe, yeah, at the end. So I believe, go 4 for 4 on the predictions in the first Saturday night's main event. So let's go 4 for 4 so far. Let's go and move on to the Royal Rumble. All right, so we're here. We're at the Royal Rumble,
WWE Tag Team title,
predicting the Tag Team title match.
The WWE Tag Team Champions, DIY, and the Motor City Machine Guns. And whenever this match was first announced, I was like, yeah.
All right, let's just go and skip ahead a little bit. I believe I predicted DIY for this. This is the one I want to talk about here, so I'm just going to hear what I said about this.
Doing some of the funniest stuff. Wearing the funniest T-shirts, like the Cody Sucks Eggs and the son of a... I don't even remember what he said. It was like the son of a... predictable. I do not see Kevin Owens winning this matchup as much as I like Kevin Owens, as much as I've loved this feud, as much as I'd like Kevin Owens walking out at the title. I think it's going to have to end with Kevin Owens taking the loss, and I really feel like that is due to one man, and that man is... Let's see if I can put him in shot without knocking everything over.
All right, so that's interesting. I predicted that Kevin Owens was going to get attacked. I believe if I skip ahead, he's just sitting in the front. Yeah, I believe that Kevin Owens was going to get attacked by the returning Randy Orton. Now, that did not happen at the actual show. It did happen in Elimination Chamber the next month, however. But I'm going to go and give myself that prediction for this. So let's go to skip ahead to the Women's Rumble. Wow, I've ranted about this for a while. Holy crap, I'm still going here. Wow, I ranted about this ladder match for a while. Goodness. Unless it's just...
I think this is her year. She's going to win the Women's Rumble.
Right here.
Race has been someone passed around. Jordynne Grace ain't going to show up and just win a Royal Rumble. That is not going to happen.
She did show up.
Sky, like I said, I think this is her year. She's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble.
All right, so I did predict Io Sky for this, and I remember that, and I will gladly take that as my first loss because of how well the rest of her year went. Obviously the Royal Rumble winner did end up being the returning Charlotte Flair, who do I even have in the shot? Yeah, I believe I do in the very back there. I did predict Charlotte Flair, but I do not remember or Io Sky, but I do not remember who I predicted for the men's Royal Rumble. So holy, we had a stacked field here. Let's just go ahead and skip a bit to the end. Let's go and see. Did I predict
so I'm actually going to go back to what I had originally thought, which was probably going to knock over Jey Uso. Yeah, so I'm actually going to go ahead and go back to what I originally was predicting, and that is CM Punk. I'm gonna give it to Punk.
Wow, bold prediction there. I'll skip to the end here to see my last, because usually, all right, so yeah, bold prediction here. I got both Royal Rumble winners wrong, which is kind of crazy. Jey Uso ended up winning this Royal Rumble, which no one ever would have predicted. So, yeah, I'm currently, though, doing still decent. We're going to go to move on to the Elimination Chamber. All right, guys, we're at the Elimination Chamber here. I'm doing pretty good so far on the predictions. However, let's go to see. I remember this kind of not going how I thought it would. At least I don't remember. So let's go to cut right to the men's Elimination Chamber. This men's... Okay, so I got that as Cena and Drew. What did I end up going with?
Obviously, McIntyre has been, the last person to pin Cody. They've been having a lot of segments together recently. But between these two guys... As much, I know a lot of people are going to get mad. I know a lot of people want this man to win, but I do not want John Cena to win the Elimination Chamber.
Oh, damn.
Think he's going to win the Elimination Chamber. I think...
All right, so I still predicted it correctly.
Cena is going to stand tall at the end of the night with a WrestleMania opportunity, but let's just say that is not the last that we might see from one of the other guys in this pile. Also notable spot I think that's going to happen in it is most likely Logan Paul.
I don't care about the Logan Paul spot. However, I did get John Cena winning the Chamber correct here. I remember at the end, and I'll talk about that in a minute here. I'm just going to go to skip this match because I guarantee you that I predicted Tiffy and Trish to win this. I don't even have to watch the part of the video. If you guys want to, go back and rewatch it yourselves, but I already know I predicted Tiffy and Trish here. For the Women's Chamber, I'm just going to skip ahead because, like I said, if we go through every single match individually, we will never get through this show.
So I really think...
I do think I did go with Bianca, who ended up winning the actual match. Luckily, back then, I used to knock the figures down a lot more. Am I still talking about this match, or is it just frozen? Okay, so I got down to Alexa.
I think it's just they're just gonna go for the safest option, especially if Jade's not back and ready to go, and the title's now off Bianca. I think they're just gonna go Bianca versus Rhea, which would be an excellent match.
And that almost did happen, actually, Bianca versus Rhea.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say
Io got involved. Yeah, all right, so I'll take Bianca winning that.
Women's Royal Rumble winner, and now we're gonna go ahead and go, I guess, to the main event before the Cody Rock thing. All right, now we get to a match that could really main event.
All right, unfortunately, this didn't even come close to main eventing. I remember this matchup. I'm not even going to watch it. I remember predicting Sami Zayn, but what I do want to go to is the part where I predict The Rock in the favor of it. I believe I did predict. Yeah, I predicted Sami, which was wrong, which is only our third L of the year, though. So far, doing pretty good and pretty accurate in these prediction videos.
All right, and now
I'm going to turn the volume up. I'm curious about this one.
They could add one more match, but if they keep it at 4, that's all we're going to know for now. But perhaps the most intriguing part of the card here at the Elimination Chamber is probably The Rock and Cody Rhodes, and that's, will Cody give The Rock his soul? And I've seen a lot of people online saying...
And I remember saying this, I believe, if I skip ahead just a little bit... Yeah.
It's going to lead us out to WrestleMania, whether it Cody and Punk actually, if it's Cody, if it's Punk.
I predicted CM Punk was going to show up and accept The Rock's favor. How wrong was I about this? And I watched a couple of my previous prediction videos earlier in the day, guys. I was really off about how CM Punk's year was going to go, and we'll get into that later in the year. But until this, let's go ahead and skip now to, I believe, WrestleMania. All right, we're here at my Mania predictions. We're currently doing very well on the actual predictions part of it. However, this is when we start to get down into this, is the fact that there were so many matches.
I even saw an Instagram post earlier about Goldberg, but
so this part I'm not going to include because I don't know if you heard me talking about Goldberg. These were the matches. I'm going to turn the volume down just for this part. These were the matches that I predicted might make it onto the WrestleMania card. But I don't think any of them actually did. It was Randy Orton's mystery opponent. The tag titles, unfortunately, didn't make it on to the WrestleMania card, which really was just terrible. I don't even know. I predicted Pretty Deadly was going to win these tag titles. Man, how the year has changed. Oh, God, the whole entire set fell down there. Oh, back when I used to film this on my table. All right, so we get actually into the first matchup here. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, and I'm pretty sure... Pretty simple. I voted for Fatu, which is ended up happening. So I will take that. Fatu ended up also having more of an interesting year than I think a lot of people thought. Let's go ahead and I guess get to the next match. Wow, I ranted on a good bit about this. All right, so this was when Bayley and Lyra, and I'm going to mute this for a little bit because it's kind of hard for me to talk over myself. But this is when Bayley and Lyra were still teaming together. Now, it ended up being Becky and Lyra. So unfortunately, I do take the loss here, but that's mainly because I did think that Bayley and Lyra were going to lose. Oh boy, this is a match. And I'm really upset about myself. I believe I actually got this match wrong. Luckily, I knocked the figures over. Okay, maybe I didn't this time around. Let's go and... Okay, I did. And unfortunately, I did get this one wrong. I really thought AJ was going to win this, and I don't see why he didn't win this. The Rey Mysterio, El Grande, I don't know how to count this one, because I predicted Rey to win and unmask El Grande, I believe. I put the Chad Gable figure up next to it. But I believe I predicted Rey for the win here, which is kind of difficult, because Rey never even ended up wrestling the matchup, which really did suck. Ray Phoenix ended up losing to El Grande. So I guess I have to give myself the loss here, but it's kind of hard to say. We got the Charlotte and Tiffy, and I remember correctly, I predicted against Tiffy, yeah, all year. My WrestleMania predictions this year were not the best. Like, I'm currently writing them down on a piece of paper here, guys, and it just hasn't been the best, like, at all. So let's go and, I guess, skip to the next match. I forget if I went by nights on this. But yeah, this was bad. I predicted this wrong too. McIntyre won this Sin City street fight. And I believe, if I skip ahead, yeah, I predicted Damian Priest was going to win this. So, man, my predictions really started going down after Mania. I believe I do come back, though, at some point. Let's just go ahead. So, the Intercontinental title, I believe, again, this was the 4-way when Dom walked out with the title. I really didn't make too many interesting points. I remember saying something along the lines of Triple H loves to have these long title reigns. Now, Braun Breaker obviously went on to do great things after this fatal 4-way. That, he obviously didn't need the IC title for. But unfortunately, another loss for me. We do get to the tag title match for the Raw tag titles. I remember this matchup does not deserve to be on the WrestleMania card. But hey, I talked about it for almost 50 seconds. I did predict the New Day, though, so that does bounce me back here a little bit. Naomi versus Jade. Obviously, this wasn't the last time we saw this matchup. Yeah, I predicted Jade, so I do make a little bit of a comeback here in these videos. Later in the year, though, I do start to make a bit of a comeback. I'm sure overall I'll have a positive record this year, but this Mania video was long. Jay versus Gunther. What did I have to say about this?
Successfully retained against main event Jey Uso, but a lot has changed since then. Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble.
He did indeed.
Jey Uso beat Austin Theory with a crossbody in like 12 seconds, and now he's on his way to WrestleMania.
Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead because I want to hear how I think that he beat him, because I know I didn't predict that he would tap out.
WrestleMania, then it is never happening. I hate to say it, but nonetheless, Jey Uso, Gunther, they might not have the best match of all time, but I feel like they could have one of the best moments of all time with Jimmy maybe returning to help Jey, and then the Usos sell.
All right, now I did spend all year going against Tiffany Stratton. However, Io Sky, I really predicted Io Sky was doing things this year. And I remember, I believe, correctly predicting, that Io Sky was going to win this matchup. Oh boy, now I see we get to something interesting. And I'm not going to skip, I am going to skip most of this, guys. I predicted Paul Heyman obviously would get involved. But who did I go with? I forget.
Completely unbiased, though.
Oh, wow. So I don't know what I was talking about being completely unbiased. I predicted Roman Reigns, which I remember that. I had me, my cousin, and my uncle up here, and we all had different opinions on that matchup. But for this overall, though, I guess I predicted Roman here, and there was a lot to talk about in this match, but I just remember overall, giving the 17th title to John Cena. And that's going to be the end of the WrestleMania predictions. Let's go ahead and, I believe, go to either Backlash or Saturday Night's Main Event next. All right, so the next show is going to be Backlash. Now, let's just go ahead and I forgot, actually, most of this card existed, if we're being honest. Penta versus Dom for the IC title. I believe I went with Dom here.
Maybe not clean, but maybe like an accidental distraction from Finn Balor. Balor's out.
Oh, okay, so this is back when I was still predicting Balor was going to turn on Dom. Now, we're the whole way to December here, and that is yet to actually happen. So I did believe I predicted Dom to win this matchup. Maybe I didn't even knock Penta down.
But anyhow, I guess that's going to be it there. I'm going to predict that Dominic Mysterio.
Okay, so I did knock Penta down. Did I put anything at the end here that might just be easier to get us through the Backlash card? I started doing this more recently. I don't believe I did. Okay, so I did. And I believe I actually went 5 for 5 because Gunther did beat McAfee. Cena beat Randy, Fatu retained in that four-way. That was when JC Mateo arrived, and then the reason there's not another figure here is because I predicted Lyra to beat Becky. So far, I am doing really good. We predicted 30 matches already. I'm not going to reveal the score, but if you guys are counting along, then you will know. But let's go ahead and move on to the next one here, which is the Saturday night's main event.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and I remember this Saturday night's main event. I didn't get to watch it live. I remember, though, being off on a couple of predictions. This was the tag team match. I'm curious if I said anything about a debuting member.
Since the Raw after WrestleMania, which is kind of weird. But anyhow, though, we got Sami Zayn in the prediction for me, though, and he's going to beat Seth Rollins in next year's WrestleMania.
Well, what did I say?
Sami Zayn is going to turn, which I don't even think he will. I think he's going to go on to win the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
That's an early prediction for me, though, and he's going to beat Seth Rollins in next year's WrestleMania.
Wow, okay.
Providing no injuries. But anyhow, though, I think...
Providing no injury. I really said providing no injuries in May. This is before Seth's actual injury and his scripted injury. Which was absolutely crazy. But I did go over on that. This was their steel cage match.
The cage,
Priest and McIntyre.
And we have their separate ways. I'm not quite sure where, because
did I go Priest on this?
Fit into the U.S. title picture, but I'm sure WWE will find a way. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Priest on this one.
All right, I did go with Priest.
Next up, we have the
women's U.S. title.
So I think that gimmick is kind of starting to... It could be this.
Chelsea Green ended up winning this back. I believe this was the only time they ever actually made it.
But for tonight, on Saturday night's main event, it's going to be Zelina Vega.
Yeah, so I predicted Vega, which was accurate.
Next, we have main event.
Now, there's no way I could have ever predicted what happened in this match, and I'm going to skip ahead most of it because I don't really think anybody... Oh, wait, I completely forgot. Okay. So I did predict Cena to beat R-Truth. I actually forgot that match happened. Just because I don't believe it ended up main eventing.
And Saturday night's main event, it is going to be the Yeet Man main event, Jey Uso.
All right, so that's a bit cringy, but I did vote for Jey Uso, which means another 5 for 5. I'm cleaning up points on these Saturday night's main event predictions. I guess let's go to move on to, I believe, the next one, Night of Champions. All right, so we're here at Night of Champions. I don't really remember this card whatsoever.
On the card as a match, I don't think.
Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Yeah, that match happened. And I believe I really lost points here because I want to... Oh, no, I did go for Sami. I kept predicting Karrion Kross, or just I remember thinking something like that, but maybe I didn't, so... I don't know. What's the next matchup? I really, like I said... this street fight. Okay, I don't even have to watch this part. I remember saying something about how Raquel was going to win this matchup because of Roxanne Perez, which at that point she wasn't even in the Judgment Day. U.S. title, I did predict Solo. This was the video I rewatched. This was the video that actually gave me the inspiration to make this video. I was accurate with Solo. I don't think I predicted Tonga Loa returning. I did predict, however, Hikuleu showing up, which obviously nowadays he goes by Tala Tonga. The Queen of the Ring finals. This is the one I really don't have to watch much of. I skipped ahead too far. Cody was winning that one, apparently. This was the video I most recently rewatched. So I'll go ahead and give my point for Cody there.
Because, she just came back, and she's already back in the title scene. But if anybody could beat Jade, I feel like it could be Asuka. But I am going to go with Jade.
Smart choice, boy. Smart choice. Go with Jade. Oh, boy. Then that Queen of the Ring match of Tiffany Stratton was not good. Okay, this is, like I said, I don't have to watch most of this. Yeah, I did predict John Cena. I remember saying in this video, and I'm going to, here's if I can find it here, about...
Overall, I do think that John Cena...
CM Punk.
Technical classic. It's just going to be nostalgic. It's going to be entertaining, and we're just going to get a great...
I don't know if I said it.
Unless he is the one to take the world title off Gunther, which...
Yeah, right here. This is what I find interesting.
Maybe even as quick as... At least next year. I don't see it any...
I said right here.
He's going to beat CM Punk here in Saudi Arabia. I don't think this is Punk's moment. I don't think this is Punk's moment until at least next year. I don't see in any way that he becomes world champion this year unless he is the one to take the world title off Gunther, which I guess could happen maybe even as quick as SummerSlam.
So I predicted that way far in advance, and unfortunately I believe at SummerSlam I predicted Gunther to retain, but at least for tonight though, John Cena... I did predict to win, which once again is pretty much another cleanup with the exception of the women's street fight. But now let's go ahead and move on to the next pay-per-view, which of course was Saturday night's main event. Now for that, we do have to go ahead and go to my post. So for the next one, this was Goldberg's retirement match. And for this one, I remember All In going like way longer than it needed to, which made me miss this. But I did predict Solo to beat Jimmy, which did happen. Rollins to beat Knight, which didn't happen because of that injury angle they went for. I predicted McIntyre to beat Orton, which I believe I was actually wrong about because that was when Jelly Roll and Logan Paul got involved. And then Gunther beating Goldberg, which did happen. Oh boy, if only we knew of Gunther's retirement abilities now. But let's go ahead now and get into the next show. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, was my Evolution predictions video. I forgot Evolution actually did happen before SummerSlam. When I go back and remember it, I just don't remember Evolution happening before SummerSlam. However, I do remember being off a bit with my predictions. The NXT Women's title, which I just now realized I believe is upside down. Yeah, okay, I maybe put that like that on purpose. Was Jordan Grace versus JCJ. Now, I'm going to have to watch this part because I didn't have either figure, so I wasn't able to knock either of them over.
But I'm going to go ahead and say that Jordan Grace wins. WWE clearly...
Oh, wow, that was really easy. I paused like the perfect spot. I went with Jordan Grace to win, which did not happen because of Mariah May / Blake Monroe turning on her, which I guess really... I don't really know. I don't watch NXT. What happened to Jordan Grace? If you know what happened to Jordan Grace, comment down below, ladies and gentlemen. But I believe the next matchup on the card was the Women's Battle Royal. I don't even have to watch this yet if it is, because I remember predicting Stephanie Vaquer to win the matchup. But let's just go and maybe go here and see what I have to say at the very end of this matchup.
Bella, I don't believe she's going to win the matchup, basically for the fact that, and, have her do a one-off match. I don't think she's going to,
I was talking about Nikki Bella here.
I'm going to go ahead and predict that it is going to be Stephanie Vaquer. WWE.
There it was, Stephanie Vaquer. Good for me. I predicted a Battle Royal winner. Jade versus Naomi. Who did I go for this? I filmed this before Bianca was announced as a special guest referee also. Let's go and go back here.
And back champion, but I am predicting Jade Cargill is going to beat Naomi.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious. That was kind of the ending of their feud, which sucks that Naomi never really got a victory in that feud. The women's IC title, this was a banger, by the way.
But anyhow, though, enough ranting about that. It's time to get into who I think is going to win. And as much as I think Lyra was a great champion, I don't feel like she needs to win the belt back.
She didn't.
Immediately, she just lost it. And whenever it comes down to it as well, I do not believe Bayley's going to win it. As much as I think Bayley should win it, I feel like
and
Bayley
by process of elimination, that means I predicted Becky, which was also accurate.
Prediction the fatal four-way for the women's intercontinental or the women's tag team titles, excuse me.
What was the other team in this? Oh, yes, Zarya and Solruka.
And Roxanne Perez. The Kabuki War involving...
Who did I go for? I believe I went with Charlexa here.
These three teams.
Did I? Yeah, I went Charlexa, which didn't end up happening until SummerSlam, which, to be honest, I feel like was kind of good. It gave Raquel and Roxanne a little bit more of a title reign. Next match. Oh, yeah, this one. Trishie versus Tiffy. I remember that's what this match was pretty much dubbed as. This was a dud, by the way. Like, Tiffy won this matchup in like 6 minutes. Like, Eminem's Rap God was longer than this. I did go with Tiffy.
To this matchup.
And this matchup, I'm curious who I predicted, simply for the fact. So I predicted Rhea, which is really interesting because of the fact that obviously Naomi did end up winning this matchup. So basically, I was a loss either way. But I remember that cash-in. That was a great cash-in by Naomi. Let's go ahead and, however, go to the next pay-per-view. Alright guys, so this was a long video. We're up to another 20-minute video for my SummerSlam predictions. And there ain't really much for me to talk about because I didn't predict Seth Rollins actually to come back. So I'm going to skip to the end of this video where I remember specifically putting everybody that I predicted to win. Oh boy, alright, so this is what I had here. Charlexa winning the tag titles. We're just going to go from left to right. Charlexa winning the tag titles. That did happen. Solo retaining the United States title, which he escaped from the cage, which also did happen. Cena retaining, that did not happen, nor did I ever predict Lesnar to return. Jade winning the title, that did not happen. It appears that there's somebody behind Jade, and I'm actually going to take a minute to actually try and look who that is, and I just now realized that is Karrion Kross. I didn't have to take a minute. That also didn't happen. Gunther retaining, that didn't happen. Holy. Fraxium winning the tag titles, that didn't happen. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll winning, that didn't happen. AJ winning, that didn't happen. Holy. However, we did, get Roman and Jay winning. Naomi isn't pictured here, but I did have her win the triple threat. And then Becky retaining. So that was a trip. I'm really glad I didn't watch all that, because I would have, that really racked me up, almost probably close to 6 losses, which my wins easily still outweigh my losses so far in this video, guys. But I don't want to make you guys sit here for any longer than you have to. So let's just go ahead and however get to the next pay-per-view. And guys, this is the Clash in Paris review. Now, I just got so much nostalgia for this show only happening in middle of September or something like that. This was just a great show all around. And I kind of forget most of the match card. I kind of like the idea of just skipping to the end and talking about everything. I feel like that's a bit quicker than what we've been doing. So yeah, let's just go to, get into it. Roman Reigns beating Bronson Reed. Now, that did happen. And the beatdown afterwards was absolutely violent there. Sheamus beating Rusev. That didn't happen. But man, did they have one hell of a Donnybrook match. Cena beating Logan Paul. Now, that did happen. They had a great match. Rollins winning the 4-way. That happened. Becky Lynch beating Nikki Bella. That happened. And then the tag team title staying on the Wyatts. That also did happen. Nothing ever happened of that Street Profits breakup. Maybe one of the masked men of Montez Ford. I have not seen any of the Raw spoilers. I'm trying my best not to get the Raw spoilers after I got so many things from the SmackDown spoilers wrong. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the next pay-per-view. Alright guys, so the next PLE that we did have was WrestlePalooza. Now, like I said, I do like this style, how I'm doing it a lot better than how I have been doing it, so I am going to go ahead and stay with this style. I had the Usos beating the Brawns. Now, that didn't happen. Now, of course, that was kind of like a street fight, because LA Knight was the special guest referee for that matchup. Stephanie Vaquer, I believe, I predicted to win the women's title. Yeah, because if not, the Sky figure would have been placed there. Stephanie has had a meh reign, at least in my personal opinion. John Cena did not beat Brock Lesnar, and man, was I wrong about that. Holy. CM Punk and AJ Lee did beat Seth and Becky Lynch, and Cody Rhodes did beat Drew McIntyre. And I'm not going to give myself an extra point, but I would like to say that as I rewatch this, I did predict that we go straight to Seth and Cody. And I mean, we did. And I believe the next PLE is Crown Jewel, which I also unfortunately was not able to film. So it's time to go back over to the post. All right, let's get back over to the post. And let's just go down the list here. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky beating the Kabuki Warriors. Now, that also happened. I remember going back and forth, the night of posting that, wondering, oh, yeah, could the Kabuki Warriors win? But I remember it was in Australia. It was Crown Jewel Perth. And Rhea Ripley did win that matchup. Cena beating AJ, I said that. But, man, did I not know what matchup we'd be getting there. That might be my match of the year, if we're being honest. Stephanie Vaquer beating Tiffany Stratton. That match was, obviously, I predicted that. That matchup was iffy, to say the least. Roman beating Bronson, I did not predict that. But, I mean, it's one of those things where Bronson Reed really didn't do jack squat after winning against Roman Reigns, which is kind of depressing. And then Rollins beating Cody. Oh boy, I got that one right, but man, did we not know where that was going to go. I remember talking in the video afterwards. It wasn't a prediction video. It was just a Fortnite video, I believe, actually. And I remember saying, oh yeah, I think this injury from Rollins is another work. And so far, it is not. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be. I'm going to say a bold prediction, just because I can, that Rollins is going to show up on the Netflix edition of Raw. He is going to be standing there with a group of masked men. Austin Theory is just the beginning, and we are going to get a 2020-esque Rollins, similar to the Messiah, Seth Rollins. And at WrestleMania, it is going to be Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. And if that is correct, come back to this video and comment Seth dinner rolls. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next pay-per-view. We are on the next pay-per-view. We got 3 left, 2 Saturday Night's main events, and of course Survivor Series. Now we are here at the Saturday Night's main event on November, if I can swipe down here, November, oh, there's the Santi's app video, I can just click here, November 1st, okay, so let's go ahead and see what I was
20
saying.
20 minutes, I don't know about that far, but anyhow, guys, for the predictions, I think of anything, this is the easiest match to predict.
Okay, let's see what I said.
I don't see either Rusev or Penta.
You know what, good man, having Dom, predicting Dom to retain here, and I'm just really curious, because if I remember correctly, yeah, this
my
matchup.
Personal opinion, but like I said, with all this extra time Saturday Night's main event is seemingly going to get, I think they could finally put out a good match.
Was I wrong about that? Somehow they had a worse match than they did at SummerSlam. Now, I predicted against Tiffy literally all year, and this one finally did come true. And obviously, I don't think this was a fault to anybody but the fact that Tiffany was injured, and that's why this matchup sucked so badly. What did I talk? Did I really? Okay, now so we got Cody and Drew, and I remember saying something along the lines of, "Oh yeah, Cody is gonna win here because it's at Saturday Night's main event," and I didn't predict that we'd have 3 new champions all crowned at Saturday Night's main event. So yeah, I did go with Cody, and then I hopefully went with Punk in the main event. There was a lot of people talking about.
I'm gonna go ahead and predict, unless it ends in a no contest.
Like I just said, the no contest, which could have happened.
But I'm going to predict that if it doesn't end in a no contest and we do get a proper winner, that it will be CM Punk.
And you know, the matchup wasn't that bad, actually. However, I did go 4 for 4. What a Saturday Night's main event that actually was. Cody and Drew was pretty decent. That triple threat match was fun. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get on to Survivor Series. Alright guys, we're here back for Survivor Series, and I'm going to go ahead and go once again and do what I did for the most recent pay-per-views, which is setting all the winners up here at the end, which I'm really glad I did. This makes these videos very easy. We've already been here for 32 minutes, guys. I don't want to have to make you wait any longer, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Oh, there's when the camera fell. Luckily, I did edit that part out. Let's go though. I think I was 4 for 4 on this. Stephanie Vaquer is not pictured, so I'm going to predict. I know I predicted her. No one was predicting Nikki Bella. Yeah, the face team won for the women. The heel team won for the heels. And I did predict Dominic to win the title back from Cena. Obviously, saluting John Cena, obviously, what we saw at Saturday Night's main event. But yeah, I did go 4 for 4. These last couple are going to be a bit underwhelming because I think I was just accurate with all of them. But let's go ahead and go to the final show, Saturday Night's main. And we are here at Saturday Night's main event, and once again, doing what we be doing, skipping to the end of the video. Alright, so here we go. Sol Ruca is not pictured here, so I'm going to assume I went with her, simply because if not, Bayley would have been up there. AJ and Dragon Lee, I remember saying that matchup was going to be great. I predicted AJ and Dragon, obviously, 2 NXT guys, as I said, shouldn't be beating your current tag team champions. Cody Rhodes to beat, I said Cody to beat Oba by DQ, which I believe actually is exactly what happened. I don't remember if they ruled it a no contest or if they ruled it a DQ win for Cody. And then unfortunately the last matchup that happened, the pay-per-view all year, was Gunther beating Cena. And man, Gunther has had one heck of an interesting year. World champion twice, but then when he's not world champion, he's fighting Pat McAfee. But then he's fighting Goldberg and John Cena. It was such a weird year for Gunther. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead and finally get into the results. But yeah, guys, that was my 2025 WWE predictions. Those are all the videos. We're now here back after I added up all the tallies. I predicted out of the 88 matches that did happen on the show, I predicted 66 of them correctly. Now, obviously, that was pretty basic math to do. That means I got a 75% win rate on these predictions, which I will actually take. Hopefully next year we can beat that. I think that's just going to be the goal, is to beat that. But until then, guys, if you enjoyed that, go and leave your predictions for 2026, just the most random ones about wrestling. Leave them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, guys, smash that like button. This was a long video to film. You guys are seeing roughly 35 minutes of it. This has been about an hour for me watching and having to listen to myself. So yeah, guys, thank you all for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully I can get a couple more out before the end of the year. If not, enjoy your New Year's, enjoy your Christmas, and I will see you guys very, very soon.